Corey Higgins is leaving a legacy here at CU at the NIT.
Jessica Pixler outracing the world.
And women's basketball also in the NIT.
Back to the gridiron, spring football, Sports Mag, now. Hello and welcome to another edition of CU Sports Mag. I'm Andy McDonald, sitting alongside Shannon Lee. We have an action-packed show after the spring break. Buffs were very active over the week off.
And men's basketball and women's basketball in the NIT. Unfortunately, they both got knocked out, but not before they put up a fight.
That's right. Following Colorado's much-publicized NCAA snub, the Buffs found themselves as the NIT's #1 overall seed. Securing the highest overall seed meant CU would get to play home games all the way until tournament's end, semifinals if they kept winning. The Buffs cruised to double-digit wins in the first and second rounds over Texas Southern and Cal respectively. But Kent State proved to be a tougher test in the quarterfinals, as both Corey Higgins and Marcus Relford had to hit free throws down the stretch to hold off the Golden Flashes. CU's win earned them to a trip to Madison Square Garden to take on Alabama's Crimson Tide in the semifinals.
The Buffs' run came to a dramatic end Tuesday night as they dropped their NIT semifinal 62-61 against Alabama. Colorado struggled in the first half, shooting only 38% from the field against the Tide's fourth-ranked defense. An Andre Robertson dunk put CU up late, but a defensive miscue allowed Bama's Trevor Relaford to sneak in for a layup with 12 seconds remaining, putting Alabama up 1. The Buffs gave Alec Burks the chance to win the game, but his 22-foot jumper hit the back iron as time expired. Despite the loss, CU fans can take comfort in the fact that the team set a school record for wins in Tad Boyle's first season at the helm.
It looks like Corey Higgins will have to settle for joint custody with Richard Roby in the CU record books. Tuesday night, Higgins tied the CU legend in career scoring with 2,001 points. Higgins scored 13 points against Alabama, one short of breaking the record. While he may share the statistic, the senior certainly has left his mark here at CU. He holds records for games played, starts, free throws made, double-figure scoring games, as well as minutes played.
With Colorado losing to Alabama in the NIT semifinals, sophomore star Alec Burks is deciding if he is going to declare for the 2011 NBA draft or spend one more year with the Buffs. Burks is a projected lottery pick in the draft and is considered to be the second best wing player in this year's class. His great size, lateral agility, and quick decision-making ability has impressed scouts all year. Burks has the skills to succeed at the next level, but scouts think he would benefit from another year refining his skills at the collegiate level.
Coming up after the break, we'll show you how women's basketball ended their run in the NIT.
And we'll go inside spring football camp with a look at the running backs. Stay tuned.
Harvey, what's for breakfast?
Guten Tag!
Johannes, Ross!
I bring you arts-enriched Raisinblams, fortified with increased test scores and creative problem-solving skills.
It's good!
And good for you.
Bobby? Susie?
Don't worry, that's just the power of the arts!
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit americansforthearts.org.
No, what'd she say?
She said whatever.
No, she says that all the time.
What's that?
Hello? I'm on the phone.
Mom, I'm on the phone!
Hello? I'm on the phone.
Who's this? It's me. I'm on the phone. Mom.
Oh, you're on the phone.
All right.
Sorry.
Sorry. Anyway.
Who are you talking to? Kelly?
Mom.
All right.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
This house was almost saved from a fire that was almost put out by neighbors who almost volunteered. As generous a nation as we are, sometimes instead of giving, we almost give. But almost giving is the same as not giving at all.
Those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're gonna beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a
One
dad
more
today.
time. Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys.
After taking down Wyoming on the road, CU's women's basketball team welcomed the USC Trojans into Coors Event Center for an NIT quarterfinal. Senior Britney Spears went out in style in her final game in Boulder, leading the Buffs with 36 points. Colorado shot 46% in the first half en route to a 3-point halftime lead, but went cold after the break. The Trojans outscored the Buffs by 17 in the second half, 3 of which came from the smooth stroke of Ashley Coral, who had 32 points on the day for SC. In the end, all Britney Spears could do is watch as her team season came to a bittersweet end. Final score, USC 87, Colorado 70.
New CU head football coach John Emery gets to take his first look at the squad he has to offer the next season in spring drills. This week, Sports Mag talked to senior Rodney Stewart as well as running back coach and offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy about that running back position.
Spring ball is going pretty good. Obviously, you have some good days, and you have some days that you just want to make sure that you could have been a little bit better. But one thing I will say, the kids have been working their tails off. I'm very excited about where we are. Obviously, we still got a long ways to go. The thing that I cannot complain about is the effort and the attitude. The effort and the attitude has been great. It's been positive. It's been upbeat. And the thing about it, we just want to make sure we keep building from there.
Get this, good. Play with your feet. Come on, boy, now. You're a better athlete than that.
Spring ball going real well. You know, we all learning a lot. You know, the coach is doing a good job. You know, the players is overcoming obstacles. You know, we all, getting a sense of urgency. You know, I think it's going to be good for us. And the spring definitely coming along in the summer because we learning different plays. You know, I think it's going to help us a lot. It's just, all those guys are from the NFL, so we're running like a pro-style offense. The offense is different from what we ran last year, of course. And, I don't know, these guys are going to get us right, I guess.
Nice. Get out of here. Good.
I mean, I can't take nothing for granted. This is my last year. It could be my last time playing football. If I'm blessed to go to another level, it's gonna happen. But just your last year, you don't want to lose. It's your last time you're gonna ever step on Colorado field. And be a leader to your team. So it means a lot to me and all the rest of the seniors on our team.
Hey, watch him. Do not beat the guard. Let the guard go. Pull on his inside here.
Ronnie is a heck of a football player. I get excited watching him play. And the thing about Rodney, he's fantastic when the ball is in his hands. The thing what I'm looking forward to him growing is to becoming more of a complete player, meaning being utilized in the passing game a little bit more, also becoming an effective blitz pickup guy, but also, too, I'm looking forward to him leading the troops and just being that guy, just being that bell cow when called upon. But one thing I'm very satisfied with the way he plays. I'm satisfied with his effort. I love the things that he does with the ball.
Get out, head around. Good. Nathan, get up the field. There you go.
Here's what you got to understand. Right now, we got a heck of a fullback battle going on between Tyler Ellis right now and Evan Harrington. You got two guys who've been linebackers for the most of their careers. And these guys have done a tremendous job of just learning the offense and coming out here and doing a good job of playing the fullback. So I'm looking forward to that battle. On top of that, Tony Jones has been a pleasant surprise. With guys being injured, now guys get more reps. Tony has done an outstanding job. He's been improving each and every day. And then on top of that, we got Josh Ford and Cordero. One thing I will say, I have a great group of guys. These kids work extremely hard. I'm satisfied with what they're doing, but can we be better? Yes, we can.
And now we have Andrew Tomasini here to talk with us CU football. Andrew, obviously there's a new head coach and a lot of changes. Who stood out defensively for CU at spring practice?
So far, basically going through the practices, the one thing that we've heard from Coach John Emery and basically the media is Conrad Obi. He's been a defensive end for the Buffs for the past couple of years, and he's really starting to kind of come out of his element and play aggressively and really kind of make a difference, really, essentially, so far in terms of spring practice. Now, the Buffs basically were in a 3-3-4 defense, 3-3-5, defense last season, and now they're going to the 4-3, and basically he's going to be able to play more aggressive, play more up-tempo, and basically make the pass rushing part of Colorado's defense that much better. So he's only going to improve on the defensive side of the ball for the Buffs. And he's the guy who's really stood out, and everyone's been talking about him. And I think there's a lot of questions in terms of the secondary because we're losing guys to the NFL draft, and you're missing guys like Jimmy Smith and Jaleel Brown, and those guys were huge guys that it's going to be difficult to replace, but the one starter in the secondary that Coach John Embry has said that they're going to go with so far is Jared Bell. He's been impressive as well on the defensive side of the ball, and I think going forward, it's a good sign to see that there's some other guys stepping up, but from everything that we're hearing right now about Conrad Obi, he's been absolutely phenomenal.
So how do you think Tyler Hansen is going to adapt to this new offense?
I think it's going to be interesting because obviously, moving to a pro-style offense now, we had a different offense with Dan Hawkins, and that was the spread offense, and he had receivers that he could go to, but didn't really have the running backs who could complement him. I think now that they're kind of getting into a groove now, and they're really trying to figure out who they can get behind him to help him out, he's going to have guys on the outside like Paul Richardson and Tony Clemens who will be absolutely phenomenal. Richardson had an amazing freshman season last year. And then you look at guys in the backfield, Rodney Stewart, we just saw him on the clip there, and Tony Jones and other guys who are coming in here, they're going to play really well. And I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great season, and I think their offense is going to be much better.
Great. Thank you, Andrew Tomasini, and for some great insight into the future of the Buffs.
Thank you.
John Embry's first recruiting class compiled 21 student athletes, but it's the one that got away that's hurting the most. CU staff reported a secondary violation for paying for a recruit's brother on an official visit here to Boulder. The recruit did not bring enough money for both him and his sibling, and the coaches paid over $100 for those meals. This is the Buffs' lone off-season violation in the transition from Dan Hawkins to John Embry as head coach.
Ralphie would make a good mascot for Frontier Airlines. Instead, Frontier might be the mascot for Ralphie and Company. The CU Athletic Department is discussing a name change for the home of the Buffs to Frontier Stadium at Folsom Field. The company would have to pay $1 million annually over the next 10 to 20 years. This would help offset the cost as the Buffs move to the newly formed Pac-12. The name change would have to be approved by the Board of Regents before it happens.
CU men's basketball team surpassed the 20-win mark this season for the third time in the program's history. That brings us to this week's trivia question. When was the last time Colorado recorded those 20 wins in a season?
Stick around for more Sports Mag, and Derek Kessinger and Jacob Eliashar break down the men's basketball team run in the NIT.
And Shannon here takes a look at the proposed Buff Up the Rec center plans.
400 million cups of coffee every day. They don't realize with every caffeine-filled cup, they're drinking their way to many harmful side effects. Caffeine interferes with the body's hormones, leading to... And don't forget jitteriness, upset stomachs, and disrupted sleep. With caffeine, going to the bathroom is the least of your problems.
Honey, the credit fairy doesn't exist.
What?
It's make-believe. Nobody left anything under your pillow.
If there's no credit fairy, then we'll make our credit score go up.
We will, by doing things like paying our bills on time.
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
What?
Now we have Derek Kessinger and Jacob Eliashar on the double team set.
Take it away, gentlemen.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this edition of CU Double Team. My name is Jacob Eliashar, and I'm sitting alongside Derek Kessinger. And Derek, unfortunately, we got to start with the hot topic that's on this campus, the loss on Tuesday night.
Well, unfortunately, the Buffaloes went into Madison Square Garden, the mecca for college basketball and all basketball, and they played the Crimson Tide in the NIT semifinal. They lost to Alabama 62-61. It was a real heartbreaker for the Buffs. It was a hard-fought game. They were down 10 points in the first half, but they rallied back, got a 5-point lead in the second half, and that was really led by Levi Knutson, the senior, who really had a breakout season this year. He finished with 14 points on the entire game, and Corey Higgins, who had 13 points, really solid for both of those seniors. Unfortunately, the other senior, Marcus Relfor, had a poor game. He only made 3 points in the entire game, and the rest of the team only scored 11 points. That left Alec Burks with the other 20, but it was not enough in the final seconds. The final seconds of the game was where everything kind of fell apart. The Buffs had the lead. Alabama had the ball. They knocked it out of bounds, but unfortunately the refs gave them the ball back. This led to a layup by their freshman, whose name is also Relfor, and Burks did not move over on the play, so he had an easy layup right to the lane, and that left the Buffs down 1 with 10 seconds left. But who do you give the ball to when you have 10 seconds left? Future NBA star Alec Burks. He had the ball for the entire 10 seconds. He waited until the last couple of seconds, threw up a basket that was almost from three-point range. It was no good, and the Buffs lost. Their postseason was over, and it just kind of left a slight sting on the season where we all thought they were going to make it into the NCAA tournament. But Alec Burks, really, his last shot maybe as a Buffalo.
Alec Burks, geez, he played Russian roulette with the basketball and with the NIT tournament. If he had no confidence in his ability to waste time, he should have handed the ball over to Corey Higgins or to Levi Knutson or even to Andre Robertson. He really needed to give the ball to somebody. But however, let's move on from the tournament and let's talk about our season. We've had a season full of highs and full of lows. We won numerous games. We lost numerous roads games. But however, I remember our wins against Iowa State, and let's not forget our 3 wins against K-State. The K-State Wildcats, and let's not forget the crown and glory game known as when we beat the Texas Longhorns at Coors Event Center and seeing that sea yellow go flowing on national television. That was a sight to see. But however, let's focus on what about the players.
Well, Corey Higgins, obviously you've got to talk about him more than anyone else. He ended up tying his mentor, Roby's point total of 2,001 points, most by a Buffalo. They share that, and that's really amazing because in basketball you score so many points. How did 2 people in 4 years have the same total like that? But next season should be interesting. They're moving to the Pac-12, and I'm really looking forward to that. They're also going to play Wyoming and Air Force. They're going to have sort of like what they do with Colorado State. That should be really interesting, and I'm looking forward to it, especially Andre Robertson and Alec Burks if he does not go to the NBA draft.
But however, the NBA draft it's going to be a very tough decision because we need his leadership. But however, if he wants glory, let him go for DeGordy, even though we're going to be missing his leadership.
Unless there is an NBA lockout, which is a possibility, and unfortunately, there's not much we can do about that, and he's got to take that into consideration if he's going to decide if he's going to be a Buffalo or not in the future.
Because we need his leadership skills, and we need it badly, especially when we're going against teams like Arizona, USC, the Trojans, UCLA. We're going to be needing all of our resources and energy to be the top dogs in a Pac-12 tournament. But however, that's all the time that we have today. On behalf of Derek Kessinger, my name is Jacob Eliashar. Let's send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Jacob and Derek. The CU Rec Center is one of the busiest places here on campus, but the facility hasn't been updated since the 1970s. Shannon Lee tells us how CU student government is trying to pass a bill to improve on them.
It's no secret that CU's recreational facilities fall short in comparison to other universities. But now students have taken matters into their own hands and with the help of faculty are launching the Buff Up the Rec campaign. A town meeting was held by CU student government to get students interactive in the process.
I think this is going to be really incredible and possibly a record-breaking election. So I encourage all of you who are just students who are here out of pure interest to really get involved.
From the treadmills to the weight room to the basketball courts, the rec center's facilities lack in nearly every way.
it's embarrassing that we call ourselves a well school that promotes health and wellness and we can't even show people the rec center. So I think that we need to have a new state-of-the-art rec center for not only students that are here, but to bring in new students in the future.
We're going to have a great new design for a rec center. Not only is it going to be something that's in dire need, but it's going to be very sustainable.
Plus the state-of-the-art turf fields for indoor stuff so that intramural sports can be going throughout the year, the new pool, the new weight areas. It's just going to be expanded for our expanding student population.
A new state-of-the-art facility would give students more than just a place to work out.
The new rec center is going to have some really amazing social spaces. This will have some state-of-the-art places where students can just unwind during the day. Right now at CU, students are really saying they're super stressed out, and it's going across the nation that that's happening.
The results would affect current students and future Buffs.
This is not only a needs-based project, but it's also a very monetary-based project. It's going to be very fiscally responsible and have long-term benefits.
Voting will be held on April 4th through the 8th to see if Buff Up the Rec passes the test. Shannon Lee, CU Sports Mag. Outdoor track got off to a good start on the season at the Potts Invitational in Boulder. They recorded 7 first-place victories at the event. The women placed first in 3 track events, the biggest of which coming from CU newcomer Jessica Pixler, as she finished 17 seconds ahead of the competition in the 1,500-meter race. On the men's side, Joe Morris recorded the only first-place finish as he won the 100-meter dash with a time of 10.5 seconds. Morris also finished 0.4 of a second behind Jeremy Dotson in the 200-meter dash.
The women's golf team was in Tucson to host the Mountain View Collegiate Tournament. The Buffs continued to stay high as Emily Talley led the way with her second straight under par round. Talley was 1 under par for the round and 1 under par for the tournament, which was good enough for 4th place overall. The Buffs finished the tournament 9 over par to help them secure their 5th straight 4th place finish. Colorado begins a long road trip starting with the Pacific Coast Tournament April 4th in California.
Spring is in the air and another basketball season is upon us. I'm going on campus to see if people are ready to step up to the plate and answer some questions about Rockies baseball and the upcoming season. There's nothing quite like opening day, and as baseball gets into the swing of things, I'm here on campus to see if CU students are prepared for America's national pastime.
Mine would be I'm on a boat.
I'm on a boat?
Yeah.
Remember the name.
It'd have to be Umbrella by Rihanna.
Already party in the USA just because I like Tulo so much. Colorado Rockies, baby.
The Rockies.
Yankees.
The Rockies because they're from Colorado and they wear purple.
The Angels, I'm from California.
Rockies.
Peanuts.
Peanuts, so I could throw them at people.
Peanuts, no questions.
Peanuts, I'm allergic to sunflower seeds.
I like peanuts, but I eat the whole thing.
They play the Rockies.
Not Coors.
I have no idea.
They play at Coors.
It's Coors Field?
Coors Event Center.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yep.
Coors Field, really?
9.
9.
8.
9.
7. 9. 9.
Da 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 da.
Too low.
Go Rockies.
Da-da.
Too low.
Campus is buzzing with baseball fever, and CU students really hit it out of the park with this one. I'm Shannon Lee, CU Sports Mag.
Thank you, Shannon, again. We're not done yet here on Sports Mags. After the break, we'll reveal that ever-pesky trivia question.
And Matt Hanlon gives us the weekend outlook for the ski slopes.
Wait, I can't really. You're breaking up.
Lost service.
Yeah, no, and then he shoved me, and I was like, that's not cool. And so I just rocked him, and it was tight.
It was a total dime piece, man. Took her back to my place, had a few drinks, you know what I mean.
And after all of that, she told me she had a kid, and I'm not trying to be any part of that right there. You know what I mean? It was a crazy.
CU student, football player, Olympian, and world champion. But most importantly, I'm a forever Buff, which means I'm part of 240,000 students and alums created by the CU Boulder Alumni Association. The University of Colorado will always be something I'm very proud to be a part of. The years that I spent going to school and playing football provided me with some of the best memories of my life. So come join me in creating lifelong CU relationships and explore the Forever Buff program.
Don't be mean. Clean your machine.
CU graduate student and track athlete Jessica Pixler has been tearing up the course as of late. She won the 1,500-meter run at Potts Invitational and followed it up with the best time in the world this season in the 5K at the Stanford Invitational. For her standout performances on track, Jessica Pixler is CU's Sports Mag Athlete of the Week.
CU Sports Mag.
Kara Schrader, CU Sports Mag.
Chucky Jeffrey, CU Sports Mag.
Joe Morris, CU Sports Mag.
It was really exciting. I was surprised that I ran as well as I did, and really thankful that the race played out the way it did. And yeah, it was a lot of fun just being out there and competing. Of course, yeah, I'd like to get faster as the season progresses, and we still have a lot of training, a lot of hard work to do, and hopefully that'll translate into even faster times. Oh, it was great. I just had so much fun being out there. I know some people dread competition, but I love it. And the harder the race and the faster it is and the more people that are in it, the more I enjoy it. And so it was a lot of fun just being out there in the mix. I really hope so. I think I have a ways to go and a lot of work to do before I can be considered a great runner. But I think that was one of the reasons why I decided to come here is Colorado has such a fantastic legacy in distance running. Jessica Pixler, CU Sports Mag Athlete of the Week.
Have you figured out the answer to this week's trivia question? To remind you, here it is one more time. When was the last time Colorado recorded a 20-win season? The answer, 2005-2006, when they got 21 wins. I wonder what the weather's going to be like up in the mountains this weekend.
Well, Matt Hanlon will tell us all about it.
Matt Hanlon here with your weekly ski report for this weekend. Let's take a look at it. Get right in there. Vail Ski Resort is going to be nice. Today is 48 and the lows of 33. Saturday will be a nice day, 52. Be a great day to get out there. A lot of sunscreen because the sun will be beaten down, but that's some spring skiing. Sunday, not so much. Rain, mix between snow and rain. It's going to be cool. Saturday is your day to go. Let's take a look at the Boulder weekend outlook. Friday, today is 71, really nice. Saturday is the day to get out and do everything outside. 76 will be the high and 54 will be the low. Great day to get out there and ride your bike and get down by the creek. And Sunday will be kind of the same, but you know, it'll be cool off a little bit. Now let's take a look at the Rockies versus Diamondbacks on Saturday, April 2nd. Great day to get down to Coors. 76 is the high, lows 54. It's going to cool off as the game progresses, but that's a great way to start some spring baseball here in Denver. That'll do for your ski report this week. Let's send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Matt. To check out this week's full episode, go to cusportsmag.com.
And that's all the time we have for you. So we'll see you next week. I'm Andy McDonald. Shannon Lee.